Jane Harrison from North London hasn't been seen for a month, and detectives believe she's been abducted and killed.
"32-year-old Jane Harrison is excited to be going on holiday with her kids and partner, Kevin. The couple enjoy a last-minute shopping trip, but just 24 hours later, Jane is missing.
Jane went to Wood Green to get some last-minute bits for her holiday.
From Wood Green, from that car park, Jane was never seen again.
Jane twice phoned her boyfriend to say that she was in a pub with friends and would be home soon.
But Maxine and Claire have always had doubts that Jane was out drinking that evening.
Wouldn't be going out on a Thursday evening, where?
And I know for a fact, if my sister was going out that night from when she left Wood Green, I would have been the first person she would have contacted. And I never got that call.
Having failed to find Jane, the family are at a loss as to where she could be.
Without a shadow of doubt, the initial priority was where is Jane and finding Jane. One of the things we want to know is who was the last person to actually see Jane? Who was the last person we can physically say was with Jane?
It was just an ordinary day for Jane. There wasn't anything unusual about her activities that day. And then, all of a sudden, there was nothing.
What was suspicious was the very fact that there was no trace of Jane anywhere. One moment, she was shopping happily for holiday accessories before flying off to a lovely trip to Florida. The next minute, she disappeared seemingly from the face of the earth. What could possibly have happened to a young mother in broad daylight in the middle of London?
The family are mystified. They have no explanation. They don't understand what's happened, and nor do the police. And the police try and just look at what the evidence is telling them.
So the eyes of the police turn towards the last person to see her alive, Jane's partner, Kevin.
And one of the things we do know about her relationship with Kevin Doherty is that it was very volatile. And we are aware now that there was domestic abuse that took place. But back in the day, back in 1995, the recognition of domestic violence isn't what it is today.
Kevin was a very jealous man and used to play mind games with her. So I say, come and stay with me. She did come and stay with me. But the thing is, he'd come round and he'd win her back. And this is how it went all the time.
One day, they'd had an argument, and about 2 days later, I could smell this awful smell. And I'm like, Jane, where's this smell coming from? She's like, I don't know, I've emptied all the bins, I've washed this out. It stunk like rotten meat or something. And she called the housing people out to try and find it. They traced it back. You know, the boiler, the cover of the boiler, he'd actually put meat inside there. Yeah, no, that's very strange behaviour.
About a year or whatever went by, I've started noticing bruises on her. And I said to her, Jane, what's going on? She'd make up an excuse. Oh, I've done this, I fell, I've done that. But, you know, you don't really see things. I can't say I witnessed anything.
With the domestic abuse background, Kevin being the last person who we know definitely saw Jane, I would now start thinking, what are we dealing with here? Is this something more sinister than just a missing person inquiry? Do we now think that Jane is possibly dead?
When they confronted Kevin with that, he just clammed up, no comment, going to get a solicitor, and just made no comment.
Because when the police brought him in for questioning, they said he's the most arrogant person they've ever met.
It was a big source of frustration to that initial investigation team when you know that somebody's responsible, but there isn't the evidence there to present to a court to say this person is responsible.
With a lack of hard evidence, police have no choice but to let Kevin Doherty walk free. But the frantic search for Jane continues.